living in squalor, wasn't it heaven? Back when we used to get on it 4 out of 7. Cause it might have been something used to say, does it ever get lost in yesterday?
Welcome back to another Porsche Car Whisperer video. If it's your first time checking out my channel, my name is Mason Gilchrist and I cover everything Porsche. And today I am super excited because I'm here at Finish Line in Costa Mesa and we're going to be talking about my top 10 most favorite things about this beautiful 2023 GT4 RS. And so for point number 10, that is going to be the Nürburgring Nordschleife lap time, and it's only 7 minutes and 4 seconds, which is actually 8 seconds faster than the 991.2 GT3, and only 7 seconds slower than the infamous 918 Spyder. So that's very, very impressive in only 8 years that on a Cayman chassis, we're getting that close to the 918 Spyder time. And this is actually gonna help pave the way for the rest of my 9 points on this beautiful GT4 RS. And so for number 9, it's the full carbon bucket seats. And you guessed it, they're derived from the 918 Spyder. I love how snug they are and how it makes you feel so connected to the steering wheel and the car itself. So now on to point number 8, and that is going to be the sticker as the emblem here on the front hood, as well as the GT4 RS here on the rear of the car. And why does Porsche do this? Well, they actually do it to save weight, and it's derived from all of the other RS cars that Porsche has come out in the past as a little sticker, and I find it so cool that we finally brought it here to the GT4 RS. And so now for number 7, the option to get the Weissach package, which this is the very first Cayman to do so. And let's talk about what all that includes. It includes this beautiful, fully exposed carbon hood, fully exposed carbon side mirrors, fully exposed carbon fiber side blades, as well as this air intake here on the side that actually goes right into the motor to help cool the car. This is the very first Cayman that doesn't have a quarter window here in the back, but a carbon fiber air box, which we're going to talk about this later because it sounds glorious on this GT4 RS. And the Porsche Motorsport stripe here on the rear glass, which actually reminds me of the Porsche 911 RSR, the full race car, how it actually has it on the front glass. Now remember, this car is born in Weissach, the home of Porsche Motorsport. Fully exposed carbon fiber wing. Now we're gonna be coming back to this later as this helps the GT4 RS achieve a tremendous amount of downforce, which brings me back to point number 10, the amazing Nürburgring lap time. So the car comes with a fully stainless steel exhaust, but when you get that optional Weissach package, you're gonna get these titanium tips, which are actually derived from the Porsche 935 race car, which is a very, very unique car. There's actually only 77 of those, so just quick fun fact. And a Race Tex dash, which actually helps keep down the glare and is derived from Porsche Motorsport as well as the 935, GT3 Cup cars. They all have this beautiful Race Tex dash as well. And for my favorite, the fully exposed carbon fiber airbox in the back. Isn't she beautiful? So that's going to bring me actually to point number 6, and it's going to have to do with the PDK transmission that this GT4 RS comes with, and it is crazy snappy. It is almost instant. So it's actually derived from the GT4, but they dialed it in even more. So actually the limited slip diff on this PDK transmission actually comes from the 991.2 GT3 manual. The main control unit is going to come from the 991.2 GT3 RS. So as you can tell, it's crazy snappy, and that makes for, of course, an even faster car. Okay, so this brings me to point number 5, and that actually has to do with the chassis as well as the suspension of the GT4 RS. And it's way more dialed in than the GT4, as we have adjustable anti-roll bars, ride height. We can, of course, adjust the toe and the camber. But the big thing is all of the joints have spherical joints, which actually helps reduce the electrokinematic effects of the suspension, so it feels super direct as we go through. It feels almost like a go-kart. I always like to say that the 718 feels like a go-kart. This car is even more dialed in, and it's more of like a point and shoot. So that's absolutely amazing. Now, wow, did you hear that? And point number 4 is going to be just the overall weight reduction of the GT4 RS. It's actually 77 pounds lighter than the standard GT4, and we do this by having a lot of carbon fiber bits. So I talked a little bit earlier about the carbon fiber hood, part of the Visoc package, and this has a fully exposed carbon fiber hood, as well as the front fenders. They're all made out of CFRP, which is the acronym that Porsche uses for this. We also are able to reduce the weight by getting magnesium wheels, which this car has magnesium wheels, and it's actually going to save about 4.4 pounds on the wheels in the front and about 6 pounds in the rear. So we're saving almost 20 pounds from these magnesium wheels. Now, wow, I like that. Now we're saving even more weight over the brakes if we get the optional PCCB brakes, which is the Porsche ceramic composite brakes. That's about a 50% weight reduction. So it's pretty impressive what this car does. The weight overall is about 3,120 pounds. That's with no driver and a full tank of gas. Now, this brings me to point number 3, and that's gonna be the sound. So we have that stainless steel exhaust with the titanium tips, but because of the airbox being literally right behind our head, that's fully carbon with these air intakes as part of those rear quarter windows, we can really hear the sound of this car. Do you guys hear that? This is way louder than a GT3. That is like mind-blowing. I can't even hear myself think after doing that little pull, and that was only to about 6,000 RPMs. Now, the engine actually revs all the way to 9,000 RPMs, so an additional 1,000 above the GT4, comes with a flat 6, just shy of 500 horsepower, and just over 300 foot-pounds of torque. So the car really, really pulls, and that's my second point. Of course, the exhaust, but as well as the engine, and it just sounds amazing. You can really hear the air intakes there right behind my head. So now that's going to bring us to point number 1, but we're going to have to go outside the car to talk more about that point. So that has to be one of the most amazing drives I've ever had in a Porsche. That sound is absolutely amazing. It actually even so loud, it made me forget my thoughts that the engine's actually derived from a GT3 Cup car, unlike the GT4, which is actually derived from a 992 RS. They bore it out and they make it a 4-liter, but this is a true motorsports engine. And so for my most favorite top thing here on this GT4 RS, which I think is very, very underrated, is the aerodynamics, as the aero is very, very important to achieving those amazing lap times. And you can actually adjust the aero on this car. So down here below the front wheel, there's a front diffuser that you can change to 4 different stages. You can also change the rear wing as well, which would be 3-stage, changing either up or down, changing the rake. So this is very important. You can change it based on the track, so you can get the optimal downforce for that application. So it's kind of a bespoke setup in terms of the aerodynamics. Also right here on the front fenders, we have these front louvers, which are actually derived from the 991.1 GT4 RS. This helps the amount of overpressure inside of the wheel well escape and bring the car down even more, which I find very, very cool. And we even have a little bit more aggressive front splitter here in the front of the 4RS, which is even better than the standard GT4. So like I said, it's very, very underrated, but I find it very powerful and helping us achieve lap times. So aero is very, very important. Absolutely fantastic. I just really want to thank my friend for allowing me to borrow his car for the day. Just thank you so much. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.